Today on Fight Insight Podcast, we will have our year-end show and we will be awarding the prestigious Fight Insight End of Year Awards. So, what are we waiting for? Tim, hit it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Insight Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is a very historic, wonderful, and sad episode. It is our end of year show, but there are other things that we're going to talk about. Rain, we've got two guests to help us do our end of year awards. People will get mad. People will get happy. Some people tried to get all their fans to help vote for them, but maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. Rain, let's bring in our first guest. Whoever you want to bring in, I will bring them in. Just say their name.
Please welcome Matt Queso Padilla and Brian Bam Bam Barbarena.
Boom.
What's up, guys? It's good to have you both back.
Good to be here. Always a pleasure.
Now we'll start things off. Matt, you hate Bam Bam because he's been on the podcast more times than you. So air your grievances, please.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to be on another one. Sweet. That means I get closer to Bam Bam, and now he's nullifying it by being here today.
I knew something was gonna come up about it. So, I didn't ask to be here, but I kind of asked to be here.
Yeah. he didn't want you getting closer, Matt. But
yeah.
Look, I appreciate.
On me.
Yeah, you got to keep the pace. I do appreciate both of you guys being here, obviously, because you guys are both super knowledgeable about the world of combat sports. Like, look, Bam Bam, through the years, man, I realize like what a student you are of the game. There's some fighters that we talk to that do not watch anything at all, but you watch a lot, man. You know a lot what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much every fight night, every fight weekend we're watching it. Pretty much my whole family tunes in. It's kind of something we do together anyway. So, I mean, I don't just love to do it myself. I love to watch it as well. It's entertaining. So,
yeah, that's crazy. And Matt, of course, out there in California, you've been a student of the game forever, competing, doing a lot of jiu-jitsu this year, but you are a fan of all the combat sports, my friend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Watching some Glory, watching random Japanese kickboxing sometimes.
Well, it's good that you're watching random Japanese things because we do have one nominee that is from Deep Jewels, which is a deep cut for some people because who's watching Deep Jewels here in the West? Timmy B is, and we have a nominee from there. But Matt, we're going to go to the first category of the year. But before we do that, so Matt's been in a lot of episodes. Bam Bam's been in a lot of episodes. Rain, I was counting. I feel like this is like your 77th episode.
Really? Okay.
It's possible that it's that many. Like maybe you've missed a few here and there, but it is up there. That is kind of crazy. But I do want to say this is going to be your last official episode as co-host.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I know.
Oh,
Who's taking the spot?
It is
one of you two. I'm just kidding.
The search will commence. But Rain, before we get things going, I do want to say thank you so much. Like you've been an incredible co-host. Your career has taken off since being on this podcast. I will say that because your UNF stuff, everything you're doing with millions and whatever is in the future for you, it's been crazy for you, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I've learned a lot, in the world of mixed martial arts, especially with talking to a lot of our guests, right? And also being the ring announcer at UNF and now doing millions as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here on Fight Inside Podcast. And this is not going to be a goodbye. You'll still see me every now and then. I guess if Tim needs a co-host every now and then, he'll probably bug me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Up until I block him.
Yes, as many people have, but not these two. Not these two and not you yet, Rain. So, but thank you very much. Okay, let's go with our first criterion of the year. Which one do you want to do? Matt Padilla, you pick first. What is your first awards that you would like to do?
Let's do finish of the year.
Finish of the year. We're going straight to the highlight. Here we go. I do have a video for 2 of the categories. Finish of the year is one. So this is about a 30-second video. If you're listening only on audio, you'll hear some noise, but come check out the video version. This is our 4 top nominees for Finish of the year.
Now for Kendra McIntyre. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
To get any throw, she's got to lower her level and attack the hips.
Oh, massive head kick, she's out. Xu Ming with a huge knockout.
Awesome.
Those are our 4 nominees. So for those that were only listening or maybe didn't catch it all, Max Holloway, UFC 300, Kendra McIntyre, LFA 182, Ming Shi, UFC Fight Night 248, and Yun Bi Cho Libby from Deep Jewels 44. Guys, I'm sure you are surprised with my picks that made it here. I will say one of the reasons is because Max Holloway was the clear favorite, I think, on everybody's scorecard around the world. Like, there's no finish that's probably better than that. So I thought, hey, look, I'm going to find 3 of the baddest women knockouts of the year and give them some props. Because if I put any other guy knockout on there, it was not going to come close to beating the Max Holloway, I don't think.
No.
Bam Bam, you wanted the Max Holloway on there, but was there any other knockout you could even remember?
Not off the top of my head, and I've been trying to think. I know there's been some real good ones that I wish I could remember, but I don't know, that Max Holloway one definitely just sticks out. I mean, just, how you point at the ground, you're winning the fight, a little backdrop on the whole fight, he's winning the whole thing. Final seconds, point to the ground, let's throw down, and just sleeps him. Like, nasty sleeps him.
Yeah. Terrible. Awesome. Like, that's Ric Flair face plant. Like, that is game over. Is that your pick of the year for Finish of the year, Bam Bam?
Oh yeah, for sure. The other ones were awesome. They were great, especially for women. Getting finishes and big knockouts. It's awesome to see. It's great to see in women's MMA. And those are some big ones. So I mean, definitely props to all of them. Those are huge knockouts and definitely need to be recognized.
Definitely, man. Like the Ming Shi one was crazy because like that head kick knockout, and it's more also the fact that her opponent just like lay there comatose for God knows how long. Like, that was a really bad one. She's a strawweight too, so you got to remember, like, to see these strawweight girls get these knockouts is crazy. The Kendra McIntyre one from LFA, that one, I just saw that one. That was a crazy one, just the way her opponent went down, and it was a long brawl that those girls were having. But I do want to say the Deep Jewels one from Libby, it's with her fist, and I do want to give credit to that, man. And she's a microweight. I don't even know what that means. Is that like under 100 pounds?
Wow.
Like microweight.
95.
Yeah, is it 95? Probably.
I've never heard it, so I'm assuming.
To get a knockout with your fist at 95 pounds, let's say, and just clocking that girl and getting like a devastating knockout like that, I mean, that's super impressive, man. Like, that's a good one. Matt Padilla, what is your pick for knockout of the year? And you don't have to pick any of these 4, mind you.
Honestly, I like that Xing Mi one a lot. Just like, she was stiff. That was like shades of Bryce Mitchell going out bad with Josh Emmett last year. Like, that was just super brutal and like completely stiff like a board, So also just the story behind her, like her being a secret fighter, like nobody in her family even knew. Like, I just feel like another layer to it.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, I don't know if you guys both know that, but like, her family doesn't even know that she fights. She ends up going in the road to UFC, wins 3 fights in the year, including that one, and becomes like a viral sensation with that knockout. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. And she's a doctor.
They definitely know she fights now.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, if it's gone viral and
Yeah. I mean,
Where are you getting all these bruises from?
yeah, I know. And she's a doctor. She's a doctor. That's what's crazy. Okay, so we've got one vote for Max Holloway, one vote for Ming Shi. Look, I'm going to vote for Libby because I just thought that one was crazy. It comes out of nowhere. I feel like, and this is one of the things that Fight Insight podcast does the best, we bring you things from all over the world that you probably haven't seen, right? Fighters, organizations, competitors that you've never heard of or never seen. That's what we try to bring to you. And so I'm voting for Libby at Deep Jewels 44, which means Ringside Reign.
Oh, no.
You either make it a terrible deadlock or you pick one of those to claim our winner.
Well, I'm actually torn between Ming Shi and Max Holloway, but I have to give it to Max Holloway at UFC 300 because it's like watching a movie. I mean, come on. The last, 2 seconds of the final round, he gets hit, and Justin Gaethje gets hit by Max Holloway. You see him falling on like the very last second, and then bam, hits the canvas at 0-0. Like, that's like crazy. It's like watching a movie. And then, I think, with UFC 300, I know going into it, people are like, oh, what kind of main event are we going to have here? Blah, blah, blah. And granted, they weren't the main event, but everyone's talking about UFC 300 should be like the biggest UFC pay-per-view ever. And I think that finish by Max Holloway put the stamp to it, the exclamation point to that finish at UFC 300.
That's it. Ringside Reign does not stick up for her fellow women. Max Holloway gets the finish of the year, the much wanted Fight Insight Award for 2024. Congratulations to Max Holloway. That is a good one. Bam Bam. Do you want male fighter of the year or female fighter of the year next?
Let's go female fighter.
All right. This category I really messed up. Okay. But for female fighter of the year, I gotta say, on our Instagram for the fan votes, it was 85% for Max Holloway.
Oh, wow.
Libby came in second with 9%. She posted on her Instagram. She tried to get all of Korea to vote, but it was not enough. Ming Shi came in third with 5%, and then Kendra McIntyre had 1%. Either way, super incredible from all of them. Female fighter of the year. We've got 4 people up, and I've probably missed who should be the winner. Okay. First up, the girl that hates me the most probably in this world, Kayla Harrison. She has 1 UFC debut and 2 victories. Juliana Pena has 1 title win, 1 fight, 1 title win. Ming Shi, 3 wins. Remember, she's in Road to UFC. She's got 3 wins for the year, Road to UFC title, and 1 Performance of the Night bonus for that knockout. And then I put up Chris Cyborg. She had 3 wins in the year. 2 of them were boxing. One of them was that PFL super fight division where she beats Larissa Pacheco. So that's 1 championship win for her. So those are our 4 official nominees. Obviously, I forgot Dakota Dacheva. Rain looking like she has no clue who that is. She doesn't? Yeah, okay. Dakota is the one that won the PFL for the year. She's the English girl, I think. English?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
She's got a bad attitude. I'm not a fan. But she wins the PFL, so I do want to put her on the board for people to vote for as well. In terms of our fan voting, this one, because there's no Kayla, and I think this is good, because there's no Kayla, you see what the fans thought. 30% Kayla Harrison takes it. Ming Shi loses by 1%. She gets 29% of the vote. Juliana Pena, 24%, and Cyborg, 17%. So what I do like is with my 4 nominees, very, very split across.
Yeah.
That said, Rain, I will let you pick first. Who do you want to give it to?
Well, I'm going to give it to Ming Shi because I remember watching that fight. And I love how they talked about how, her parents did not know that she's a fighter. And I think she would just only tell that, she's just going to like a martial arts competition. And, like during the fight, I was like watching it. I kind of noticed like with the height difference, it seemed like she was trying to like kick her opponent and she wasn't landing it. And then at some point, she got that crazy head kick and her opponent was just knocked out for like, I think 4 minutes. And you could see like the look on her face. She was all worried because, like what we talked about, she's a doctor. She's probably concerned about her well-being, right? But on the other hand, she's like, oh God, like I just won the Road to UFC strawweight tournament. So I think there's just the whole backstory and obviously like how she wanted to fight. I think that makes her my female fighter of the year.
All right, there we go. Matt Padilla, who do you got as female fighter of the year?
Well, you said we could throw in another one, right? So, I'm definitely going to go with Dakota, considering the activity. Like, Cyborg fought once in the year. I think Cyborg definitely, like, top of the heap all-timer in the women's category. Like, she has a belt in every promotion ever. But only one fight in the year. Dakota, 4 fights, 4 finishes. And she even finished Tyla Santos, and that was the closest fight Valentina's had in a long time. So I think that just added, like, a lot to her. So, going with her.
All right. I do want to say Cyborg did have 3 fights if you count her 2 boxing. And I'd also like to say that Tyla Santos was not a super fantastic UFC fighter. I just want to put that out there because everyone says that. But Tyla Santos, her record was not very good in the UFC. I forget what it was, but it is not a good record. So I'm just trying to couch it a little bit. Bam. And I do want to say also Cyborg, you know, one of the big things with the Cyborg is that she went in there against Larissa Pacheco, who I think is much younger, maybe. And you know PFL did not want Cyborg to win. You know they wanted their girl Larissa to get that win so that she could have a win over Cyborg and then be able to like carry that throne, right? Or like pass the torch kind of thing. Cyborg winning, I swear to God, messes them up really bad because now what, right? Bam Bam, I'll let you go next, my friend. Dakota, Mingxi, what do you got?
Okay. I've seen a lot about Dakota. Honestly, I haven't followed her very much, or I didn't catch the PFL fights. But she has been really active, and my bad, jeez. But I have seen that she's been active. You know, she won the PFL title, and that she's been producing finishes. So, that's always a great thing, no matter what in the women's division. When you're finishing people, that's a big statement. Obviously, I watch probably more UFC than anything, but that's just preference, I guess. I don't know, but I think Kayla Henderson, wasn't. I could just rule her out. Pena, I could rule her out. So, what was the other girl's name? I forget.
Mingxi.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. I mean, both girls were active, big finishes. I don't know. This is tough for me. I'll just pick one. I'll go with Dakota just because going through it all and the tournament, winning it with all finishes. I'm going to go with Dakota.
So disappointed in both of you. Remember, there were no elbows allowed in 3 of those 4 fights, by the way. I don't know what I'm going to do. Look, God damn it. I guess no. I'm going with Mingxi. I feel like Mingxi comes out of nowhere. She's a relative unknown and then launches into the stratosphere with that head kick knockout. She gets it crazy. And, the backstory to her and all that is just insane to go who knows where you're fighting in China and without your parents even knowing. So imagine like all the stuff that you have to do to then go out there and perform like that and get that win. And she's just so unassuming, right? Like she just looks so crazy innocent. I'm going to give it to Mingxi, which means we are 2-2. I know I didn't give the fans the choice, but look, Rain and I are the host and co-host of this show. Executive decision. I'm giving it to Mingxi.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Does she have an Instagram account? I can't find her Instagram account. Does anybody know? Because I was not able to tag her in anything.
Sure she
got. I don't know, man. I don't know that they have Instagram in China.
She's got to have one.
I don't know. Isn't Instagram banned in China? That's what I was thinking.
It's TikTok.
Is it?
TikTok is banned.
TikTok, yeah.
All right. Well, let's find Ming Shi's Instagram account, and we're gonna tag her because she just won Fight Insight Female Fighter of the Year for 2024.
Comment on this podcast and let us know her at.
Yeah, get it going. All right. Next, we will go with our Fight of the Year.
Fight of the Year.
This one, I don't know if you guys had any like standouts for yourselves. Before I go to our nominees, Rain, was there any Fight of the Year that you immediately thought of when you knew that you're doing this award show?
No. I mean, when I saw the nominees, I was just like, okay. I kind of like, oh yeah, that's got to be my Fight of the Year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Matt, any Fight of the Year that you thought going into this?
Maybe not the whole fight, but the last round of Orobai. His last fight, where he was just getting battered. You know, the guy that looks like a Neanderthal?
Who?
The guy that looks like a caveman. Like, that's the whole meme behind him. Like, he just looks like he's straight out of...
Oh! Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, fight in the UAE, where he was just getting battered, and then he came back in the last, 2 minutes to beat the crap out of the other guy.
Right. That was a good one. Bam Bam, any big fight for you this year?
I didn't see that one. What was that on?
That was like a UFC, like in the United Arab Emirates, I think, right?
That was
just like
on the part of Holloway Taporia.
Oh, okay.
Okay, maybe I can't put it together. Put a face to it.
Bam Bam, any big fight of the year for you?
I don't think so. No, I can't even remember what you listed. I'd have to see him again.
All right, let's see what our Fight of the Year candidates came down to. Here we go.
On his own terms. As the center of the cage, because he's coming up just short with them punches.
That happens with southpaw convention.
As the center of the cage, because he's coming up just short with them punches.
Boom. All right, there we go. So the 4 nominees are Zellhuber versus Ribovic, which was at UFC 306. Pahea versus Roundtree at UFC 307. DDP versus Stylebender, UFC 305. And then this was my out of nowhere one, which was John Dodson versus Takaki Soya at Super Ryzen 3. It was a bare knuckle fight on their BKFC versus Ryzen card. That fight, if you have not seen it, is freaking insane. I don't know that Japanese people compete in a lot of bare knuckle boxing, but this dude Soya comes out of nowhere, and to fight Dodson, who's just energy, and these two guys go to war. It was crazy, man. I've never seen anything like it. It was insane. So that was a great fight. The fans spoke, and I think this is because Zellhuber started reposting this a lot. So it was, his fans came out in droves, man. 86% Zellhuber Ribovic, 11% Roundtree, 2% DDP Stylebender, and probably my vote, 1% Dodson Soya, because I'm the only guy that saw it. Let's go to Bam Bam. First pick, man. Fight of the year.
Okay, well, I'll have to go back and watch that Dodson fight, because Dodson's always fun to watch, and if someone's going to go toe-to-toe with him, especially I didn't realize it was a bare-knuckle fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting, so I'll have to go back and watch that one. But I am for Zellhuber and
Ribovic.
Ribovic, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was a banger.
That was a crazy fight, man.
I feel like there's another one, and it's in my head, but I can't pinpoint it right now. But out of those, for sure, that's it.
All right. Matt Padilla, what do you got, Queso?
First of all, shout out to Ryzen. They're the only ones doing cross-promotion with anybody. Even the UFC, they had their version at the last UFC card for Kai Asakura. Those were really awesome. Even the walkout, I forget the name of that lady, but she was introducing him real quick during his walkout. I thought that was really I'm going to have to go back and watch that. If I knew it was a cross-promotion, I would have actually watched it. because you might have messed up already because I think we got 3 votes for Zellhuber already.
Zellhuber, you're going for Zellhuber?
Yeah, that was actually the one that I was like going to put in, but you actually put in before I even had to mention it.
Nice. All right,
Love
good. Ringside Rain, which fight gets your nod?
I was going to say Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Oh,
I was kidding. No.
I like that vote. Good one.
No, my fight of the year is Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree. They got number 8 ranked versus the champ. And that was Alex Pereira's 3rd title defense this year. And Khalil Roundtree was the one who lasted the longest, because against Jamal Hill, that one ended in round 1. Against Yuri Prochazka, I think it ended in round 2. This one, when I watched this fight, I mean, Khalil Roundtree was up in the scorecards up until round 4. And, the way I think Khalil Roundtree, he fought with all of his heart, and you could see I think it was his eyelid, right? That got messed up right above his eye or something like that. And
I think the bridge of his nose had a pretty bad gap.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was somewhere on his face, right? And then he had to get surgery afterwards. But there was a point in that fight where now I was like, okay, is he actually gonna do it? Because people are like, why is the number 8 fighting the champion? And then everyone's like, oh my god, he's actually standing up a fight against Alex Pereira. So for me, that, with the storyline and then along with the performance, that makes it my fight of the year.
Nice. Yeah, Rain, I'm glad that you broke it down like that because look, I'm a huge Khalil fan. I think that dude is crazy. And I knew that would be a great fight. When they were saying it was a stupid fight, I'm like, no, you don't understand. Roundtree's like a beast. He's crazy. Ever since he went to Thailand and trained and he just came back a different man. That guy's an animal. And he's got so many mental demons going on. That guy is a very unique individual as well. That was a crazy fight. I'm giving it to Dodson versus Soya because I just thought again, I never imagined that could happen. That kind of fight could happen on that card. And so that was amazing. But our winner and very, very well deserved was one that I had written down the minute as I was watching it. I was storing it in my phone going, this is fight of the year of 2024 as I was watching Zellhuber versus Ribovic, UFC 306. That is the fight in sight fight of the year for 2024. Go back and watch that one. That's obviously on UFC Fight Pass. So go check that out. Last award of the year is going to be our male fighter of the year. A lot of people got mad at me. On our Instagram story, I said, give me your nominees for the different categories, and people wrote in different stuff. But then when I released the fighter of the year, people got very mad that Alex Pereira was not on the list. So if you want to vote for Alex Poetan, please do. But our 4 nominees are John Jones, 1 title defense against an retired firefighter. Ilia Topuria, 1 title defense, 2 performance of the night for Ilia Topuria. That was the far and away the fan votes. That one won our fan poll as well, 71% for Ilia Topuria here. Third up, Francis Ngannou, 1 championship win for that PFL super fight. Remember, the reason he's here, when people would yell at me, I would write back going, the reason Francis is there is because of the whole story about his son, right? That was a big story that was percolating around that time. So that's what deserves him there. I mean, he goes out and just destroys. Again, he also ruined PFL's life because PFL wanted Brennan, the other guy, to win, right? So Francis Ngannou on the list. And then last on the list is a guy, 5 fights in the calendar year under Karate Combat, 5 wins, 4 stoppages, 1 title victory for Arturo Macaco Vergara. 5 fights, 5 wins, 4 finishes, a title fight. We had him on the podcast. That dude is a very, very nice guy. But that's a crazy year, man. 5 fights. Now, Ringside Rain, I'm going to give it to you for your first pick for male fighter of the year.
Yeah, so I guess it's a good thing that Alex Pereira is not a part of this list because I would pick him right away.
You can pick him if you want.
Yeah, but also, well, I kind of want to go with the nominees that we have though, because now I'm comparing Alex Pereira versus. I picked Arturo Macaco Vergara from the nominees, right? Because now I'm like, okay, Alex only has 3 title defenses this year, right? So that's just like 3 fights this year. Arturo Macaco Vergara had 5 fights this year. The last one was actually on my birthday, December 19th, and that's when he won his his Karate Combat Bantamweight Championship. So it's like, for me, it's like this guy put in the work this year, and his year is going to end with him having gold around his waist. So congratulations to our Arturo, our friend of the podcast, Arturo Macaco Vergara.
Yeah. And Ringside Rain likes to say his name with the accent, so that's why it also
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. Queso, who you got for Male Fighter of the Year?
Out of all those, runner-up would definitely be I can't pronounce his name. Like Rain.
All right.
Of course, 5 fights. But I'm gonna go with more of the weight of the wins, and that would have to go with Ilya. That was like beating Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski by fin in the same year. That's like dunking on Kobe and LeBron in the same night. So I'm gonna go with Ilya Topuria for sure.
Nice. All right. So that's 1 vote for Ilya, 1 vote for Arturo. Bam Bam, who do you got?
I'm actually gonna go with Topuria too.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. He's right. I mean, finishing Volkanovski and Holloway. I mean, dude, just to finish like Holloway, that's the first time he's ever been finished, ever. So, ever been like knocked out. Wow.
Yeah.
In the same year. I mean, said he was going to do it too. Wild.
Yeah. And I want to say, but Max is getting old. He's 33 years old.
Yeah.
Like he's just some people are just beginning their career, and Max has already done freaking everything, and he's still there. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Well, look, if you include our fan votes, that's already 3 votes for Ilya, so I feel like he gets it. Who will I vote for?
Props to
Arturo.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even attempt it.
No.
Rain, go ahead.
Arturo Macaco Vergara.
Wins. No, he does not win. Look, that dude gets my vote, man, only because like 5 fights, 5 wins. And also like when you hear his story, if you watch our podcast with him and you hear his story about his upbringing and where he comes from and the struggles in his life, training at the Goat Shed, coming to America to pursue the dream. And here he is, and he talked about it on our show because it was his birthday, then his son's birthday, who hasn't seen in years. And then he was going to win this title. Like the whole dream, like that whole story is crazy. So I really love that guy. And I really like Karate Combat too. Are you guys watching Karate Combat? Bam, Matt?
I've watched some of it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I think I got you.
I'll be on. I'm watching every time.
Wait, you do watch?
If Sam's on, Sam Alvey.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, of course. And here's the thing. Because Matt is good friends with Sam Alvey, Bam. But right. I will say Sam Alvey getting recruited into Karate Combat really brought a lot of fans to that organization because Sam is a master promoter. And I feel like brought a lot of eyes to Karate Combat. So, that said, Ilya Topuria wins the Fight in Sight Male Fighter of the Year. So congratulations to Ilya Topuria. All right. Those are our 4 awards. Now we have to get on with what was your biggest disappointment of the year. Do we all have a disappointment ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, Rain, you said it first. Go ahead.
I'll go first. But I guess for me, it's like disappointment, but at the same time, it kind of, I think it was for the best too, so it's basically Chandler versus McGregor, right? People probably think it's not going to happen anyway, which obviously it didn't happen.
He's still asking. Hold on. He's still asking for it today. Do you know that? He was tweeting today about it.
Today?
Yeah, literally. I responded to it. He's insane.
Chandler?
Yep. Still asking for that fight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyways,
maybe we'll get it.
I will say if Conor ever does come back, which I doubt he will, but if he ever does come back, he should have to fight Chandler. Like,
why? Because you waited so long and like.
Well, because he waited, but they were on the Ultimate Fighter together. They're supposed to fight anyway, be the coaches. I think he should have to fight Chandler.
Yeah.
Like, first fight back, you have to fight Chandler. No, there's nothing else you can do. That's it. That's the fight that you have to do.
I mean,
I was disappointed for Michael Chandler when the fight didn't happen. But then Alex Pereira stepped up on a short notice fight and then, defended his title. And we got he saved the main event of UFC 303. So,
yeah. There you go. Matt Padilla, what was your biggest disappointment?
Yeah, that one's easy for me, but I mean, I'm kind of like a D1 hater for John Jones. It was kind of like John Jones was a disappointment to me. Like seeing Stipe just looking like a stick in the mud in that fight made me like question how he could think that he's too old to fight Tom Aspinall, and then Stipe just did not look like his normal self at all in the fight. Fought once in when he's bragging so much about himself. I'm sure he's like partially, like I know he's definitely a pretty narcissistic guy based on how he like talks to DC and all. How I guess how he treats the whole division, but I'm just surprised that he can't fight Tom. Like, it's weird.
So wait, so your disappointment is not Stipe. Your disappointment is John Jones not accepting the Aspinall fight.
Yeah, like it's smart at the end of your career to take the fight and get you the most money and be the lowest risk, of course. If your body's declining, then that's what you should be doing. But it still sucks as a fan to see that.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree with you, man. Because look, that's where you look at like Ngannou fighting Renan Barão, and you look at no, am I saying that name right? No, Renan Fahea. What was the guy's name? Anyways, whatever. Renan Fahea. Yeah, Barão's the bantamweight guy. Yeah. So you look at Francis fighting that guy who was supposed to be the next big thing. You look at Cyborg fighting the Pacheco girl who's the next big thing, right? Those people are not protecting their legacy or anything like that. They're taking on the whatever the challenger is, they take it, man. And so, John Jones being a disappointment. I agree with you, Matt. Bam Bam, disappointment of the year.
Oh, gosh. If I'm not mistaken, did Chimaev only fight once? He only fought Whitaker, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay. That'll be my disappointment, just because there's all this hype around him, all this hype, and he's gonna get the title, and all he's calling for is the title. He's gonna run over everybody. The dude's got one fight on the year, and I'm pretty sure the year before that, I think it was still one fight on the year, and I understand illness is nothing to mess around with, and he's gotten sick and all this, and that sucks. But I guess the disappointment of the year for me is just all this hype, all this push, all this talk from him as well, and it's one fight on the year. So
yeah, no, and look, disappointment doesn't have to be like something personal. It's just disappointed that this guy has not fought. You know what I mean? Like, for whatever reason, that's fine. It's disappointing as a fans that we don't get to see him fight, because he's supposed to be the next big thing. Yeah, he only fought once in 2021, twice in 2022, then once in 2023, once in 2024. So at this rate, you won't see this dude until October 2025. So right, like.
Dude
don't
messed
get excited.
up my parlay when he was supposed to fight Whitaker the first time. No, I'm just kidding.
Bastard. Yeah. Let's see. My disappointment. It was tied for top two. My disappointment one was the way that Bellator has been handled. I think that has really been a problem for me, man. And now we're seeing all these athletes come out, like Patricio, Pitbull, who are begging to get let go so that they can go fight somewhere, because otherwise these guys are just stuck on this contract, which is so weird. Rain, we interviewed the American Predator, Daniel James, who gave some funny comments about drug testing, seemed to be a little bit weird with PFL and stuff like that. So just the whole way that Bellator was handled, I felt was bad. I had on the Sleek Sheik, Sabah Homasi, who talked about how Bellator still hasn't paid him his medical bills that is due. Like, stuff is really messed up with that organization. I feel like that's bad. But I would say that my biggest disappointment in 2024 is the MMA media. I think as a whole, like, I just think like the questions that they're asking these athletes in the interview times and things like that is just really filled with like different agendas and different things to try and catch these fighters in these difficult times. Like, and I see it more and more happening. Right. And I just really hate that. So my biggest disappointment is the MMA media, man. And I think that that's a real problem, and I hope it gets better, but it probably will not. I will say, I was thinking about this. The biggest problem with social media is not misinformation, but it's that it causes you to miss information. Because I feel like what happens now is they just keep feeding you shit so that you get distracted and you don't see the other stuff. It's not that they're lying to you. It's just that they're filling you with this garbage, right?
Yeah.
And like, the way they've treated my good friend Chuck Buffalo, the way that they're treating Trayshawn Gore when they try to ask him questions, the way that they ask like all these different athletes these questions to get them into problems, to create clickbait, when these guys have great stories to tell, or these guys have like real positive messages to give, and you're just trying to force us into listening to dumb crap instead of like giving us the good stuff. So that's my disappointment for the year. That said, let's go with our prediction for 2025. My last year prediction did not come true. ONE FC did not go bankrupt yet. But boy, oh boy, these freaking guys are really close, man. Prediction for 2025. Bam Bam. My friend, what do you have for a prediction in 2025?
I'm going to actually go on one of your disappointments. I'm going to predict that Bellator is not going to get any better, and you're going to see more and more fighters want to get out of their contract and try to find a different organization. And PFL wise too. I feel like there's a select group of PFL people that are pretty set and going to continue to get fights, but everybody else I feel is really at risk, but more so the Bellator people, the Bellator fighters, and I feel like you're going to see a lot more of them wanting to get out of the contract to go to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Badly.
That's a pretty
like
safe
maybe
prediction.
Bellator closed completely. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's Bam Bam's prediction, is that they close Bellator for good. Because there's no way, like, how can you go another year with this kind of garbage output? Right? Like, it's almost impossible. And then, like, why would you waste the money? You can't be making any money doing this. So just close it, let these people go and be done. I don't know what the point is of holding them.
I mean, they're not having shows, so I guess they're not wasting money, but
yeah, true.
They're just holding the contracts and being like, yeah, we're going to have a show, and then never have the show. So
yeah,
more so they're just ruining people's MMA careers, really.
Right, because you're just running out your time, man, and that's what Patricio was saying. I know, Bam, I know you have friends at Bellator that fight for Bellator. Matt, do you have any friends that are signed to Bellator?
I know a couple people, mainly in like San Diego, when I trained at Azteca with like Phil Davis, and a lot of those guys are, I guess, confused too. Like Phil didn't understand why they didn't want him to fight in the San Diego card of all places.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. I mean, we've had on Bellator fighters, and I won't say this person's name just in case, like, maybe they shouldn't be saying this now, but at the time when they signed with Bellator, they told me that the Bellator contract was for a set period of time. It's not like in UFC, Bam, where it's like X number of fights and we have to offer you X number of fights a year.
Well,
this fighter,
the UFC one is X amount of fights, but it's also a certain time too. So like if you don't get those fights in a certain time frame or whatever, they basically renew the contract, but it just extends the time period to get those fights in. Or like it can go to, I think, where they can just end the contract if they wanted to, really. But there is a like time frame usually on it too. Because I've had a contract where I got injured and so I couldn't fight for a while, and they had to like renew my contract because I still had 3 fights on the contract or something, or 2 fights on the contract. So they just renewed the contract instead of to extend the time frame that it under the contract or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
but that doesn't make sense. But that doesn't make sense though, because why was GSP stuck to that contract forever? Isn't that why he ended up having to fight Bisping and he could never go anywhere else?
Maybe it's just
different people.
Different people, yeah, different contracts. Like I'm sure Connor's contract is endless,
indefinite.
Like he has to get so many fights. Like he's been talking about, going to BKFC, even this boxing thing. Like I'm guarantee he has to either get clearance by the UFC or pay them a significant amount, probably, if they're on board with it. But
yeah,
he's stuck. He's not going to fight anywhere that's like MMA or anything like that.
Right. But what I'm saying though is I think with a Bellator, like for this Bellator fighter, they told me, they said, yeah, they don't have to offer me any number of fights. Like there's no stipulation like that we've heard is in UFC. But what they said was that their contract was for a set time. And once that time was done, whether I fought 100 times or 0 times, I'm out of here.
Holy cow, that's crap.
Well,
no promised fights? Like, is the only way they're not paying you every month?
Yeah, but at the time this person signed with Bellator, this was like 2 and a bit years ago. They thought Bellator was a real promotion that was having events all the time. So I mean,
but even at that point, like I would, with it that being the contract, like no guaranteed fights, just where you're on a contract with us, you can't fight anywhere else for a year or whatever. Like with no guaranteed fights, that's risky.
I don't know. That's why people need to sign up for the Bam Bam management team. They'll get locked into these terrible contracts. Man. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's your life, life on the line. You can't just wait for something that might not ever be there.
I guess, but then Bam, like not everybody is a Bam Bam Barberina that gets UFC offers. You know what I mean? Like if you're not getting that offer and Bellator, and here's the thing too, that person did say that the money that Bellator was offering was very good, but I guess of course they'll offer it if they never pay you for a fight.
Yeah.
That's true. Matt, we'll have to, you know what? I got to be more direct with a few more guests and figure out what their contract details are. Because the Bellator thing makes no sense to me. Shouldn't all these Bellator fighters, if it's like that person, shouldn't they just be sitting there going, yeah, I'm just watching this clock tick, baby, and then once it's here, I'm out of here. But it doesn't seem like Pitbull thinks that his contract is just going to run out of time. Otherwise, why would he be on social media all the time begging?
Unless it's years.
Like a decade or something stupid.
Like 10 years, something. Yeah.
Matt Padilla, prediction of 2025.
I think personally that we're kind of seeing the writing on the wall. It's not really like very subtle the way Ilya's talking about going up to 155. I think he's probably going to end up bypassing the whole division and get straight to that belt after. If Arman wins, then that would probably be the only reason he would have to fight a contender. But if Islam wins and there's he's already beat everybody, I think Islam's already talking about how he's tired of all the rematches, so it's going to be Ilya versus Islam, and I think Ilya actually takes that personally. I think we get Ilya as the champion at 155 next year.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I like that one. Very positive and fan-friendly, Matt. Good prediction. I like it. Ringside Reign 2025 prediction. What is it?
Oh, God. You
will be the new UFC announcer.
That's actually what I was going to say. Well, so for me, one would be Alex Pereira will for sure step up again on a short notice call. I have a feeling that's going to happen again in 2025. DDP versus Sean Strickland, number 2, part 2. I think DDP would retain his title. I honestly hope he would actually finish Strickland, because the last fight, it ended in a split decision between the two of them. So that way, no questions asked, DDP finishes the fight. And Israel Adesanya, he's going to be on a UFC fight night, I think in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I don't know when, but I think it's going to happen sometime early this year. He has back-to-back losses, right? I don't know how many losses he's had so far, but I hope he bounces back this year.
Nice. Wait, so what is the prediction? I felt
So
like there was a
one
bunch.
would be Alex Pereira on a short notice fight again in
Okay.
2025 because he
Yeah.
does that all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He saves UFC all the time
Yeah. And then DDP winning decisively.
against Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
Because I think that's in March or February. And then Israel Adesanya, he's going to be at a UFC fight night. I don't think he's been on a fight night, in a while. He's always been on a pay-per-view. I think this is going to be the first since, I think, 2018.
Okay.
And he's been losing a lot lately, so hopefully he bounces back.
All right. Is he booked on a fight night? No. You're
Yeah,
just
he
predicting.
Yeah.
No, he is.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's booked on a fight night?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not at an Apex though.
No, it's in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. Okay, yeah. All right. What's the point of that? Freaking sake! Can I just say
he's finding a top contender, up and comer.
I just don't understand why they even go to Saudi Arabia. If I want to be honest, I don't understand what the benefit is to the organization that you got to fly out all your shit out there and set it all up out there, and then to do it in front of fans.
I think they pay a lot of money to bring like the UFC, WWE, like PFL out there.
You don't know the Turkey or whatever his name is? That guy
we're talking about.
He's like the richest man on the planet.
Right. He pays them to do it.
Yeah.
He like pick fights and stuff too, I heard.
Oh, really? Bam, you should get on his radar and go, hey, buddy.
Oh yeah. I'll hit him up right after this. I'll give him a call.
Yeah, and Rain, get on that guy's radar too. So hey, I should be the
crazy
commentator.
Is that
right?
they did a show here in LA. They had like a boxing event. Remember that, Matt? Like at the Bank of America Stadium, they gave away a car to like a random like person who attended the boxing event. It was like $100,000 electric car, just because they wanted a raffle during the boxing event.
I mean, that is insane. All right, my prediction for the year. I feel like this is a pretty good one. I feel like this one could come true. I feel that, and I know this is very self-serving. Okay. One broad prediction is that Bellator is going to go down. I feel like
is that the one
before one?
What's that? Before ONE FC?
Before, yeah.
Jeez Louise. Who's paying ONE FC to put on these things? I don't understand. Like, I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I don't know, man. No, but Bellator, no way can it continue. And my prediction is for a positive because I feel like it should end so that these fighters can go off. I've got two predictions, though. So that one doesn't count. My first prediction, the GFL that you guys have been seeing?
Yeah.
Okay. Next week on the podcast, I have Kayla K-Rock Haracho. She's a female fighter she's been on my radar for a while. She's competing on like regional scenes and stuff like that. She signed to GFL.
Okay.
She's coming on the podcast.
Uh-huh.
I want to know what the frig this thing is. Okay. Here's my prediction, though. You know how you see all the names of the people that are signed, like Junior Dos Santos or Andrei Arlovsky, blah, 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 right? Then, did you hear that they said something like they've signed 320 people, but they're only drafting 120 for the teams? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I guess the other ones are going to be like ambassadors or something, right? Like, I mean, you can't have Verdum fight where he's talking about all the brain damage he's getting recently.
So here, right. Okay, wait. So here's my prediction, what? Matt. Wait, go ahead, Bam.
Verdum got signed.
And he's talking about what?
He's like openly talking about his CTE.
What the hell?
Yeah.
No. Before, though. Yeah, but before, right? Okay. Yeah. My prediction is that all of those big name fighters you see are not going to be drafted. I think it's all a scam. And that I didn't hear that thing about, though, that Matt, that if they don't get drafted, they become ambassadors. Where did you hear that?
Just that some of them are like more representative of it instead
Do
of
they get paid?
I would assume so.
Obviously.
I mean, maybe.
But wait, Matt, you're saying some of them are already signed as ambassadors, but we just don't know?
Something like that. I was listening to it on Helwani because I really wanted to know what the hell it was.
See, I think, and so that's my prediction. My prediction is that we're seeing all these big name people. I don't think any of them fight for the GFL, especially because like when they showed the schedule, it was like they're going to fight like 6 times in the year and then blah, blah, blah. And then there's the finals and the semifinals and the whatever. I think none of those guys are fighting. I think this is all a scam.
You think they're just like coaching, like they coach?
No, I think they've just paid them to be an ambassador. Like, hey, can we just, we'll pay you $25 if we can put an Instagram post saying that you're signed with the GFL.
Shit,
because then it builds like interest, right?
I mean, Brian's idea was cooler. Have them do like coaching,
Yeah, they'll be coaching random, up and coming people or whatever, just whoever. But the people who are already all signed are just a group list of coaching because there's like 6 teams or something like that I've seen. I don't know.
But anyways, that's my prediction, is that we don't see all those people fighting, right? However, next week I'm super excited to talk to K-Rock because I want to know what the deal is. I want to know what she signed to because like...
Get the scoop.
Yeah, because you've signed with this promotion. I haven't seen any fighter be interviewed about GFL. So... I'm surprised that she said yes. That's the first off.
You're like, let's talk about GFL. She's like, I can't talk about GFL.
I can't talk about it either. But but even if she can't talk about details, it's like, okay, but what do you think is happening? What have they promised you? Does your contract say you can't fight anywhere? Blah blah blah. Is it no elbows? Obviously, it's got to be no elbows or whatever. Like it must be following a very PFL schedule. So that's my first prediction. My second prediction is a little bit more selfish. Fight League Atlantic. I predict that a Fight League Atlantic fighter will get signed to the UFC in 2025. Right. I would love to see it, man. We had one fighter that went to the Dana White Contender Series who fought there. Unfortunately, he was not successful, but like it means the promotion's on the map. It means that it's close. And I just need one of these freaking animals to get a shot and to get it and to get signed. I would love it. And maybe they'll get a direct call up too, right? Like maybe they'll get a direct shot. So
short notice or something. Yeah.
Short notice fight, whatever. Like there might be some cards in Canada, right? Anytime that happens, it opens up the doors. There's potential there. So that is and I know that there's a bunch of Fight League Atlantic guys that have started to cross train out at Niagara Top Team, which has a lot of UFC fighters. So that's my prediction. That's my hope, man, because that would be very, very cool. So that is my prediction. That's it for the show, guys. This is it for the end of the year, man. Again, I will have an episode next week anyways, but that's kind of like, that's not our official end of year. This is the official end of year. Matt Padilla, what do you got going on next year for you, my friend?
Doing ADCC. I was planning on doing some Muay Thai, and then ADCC announced they're doing San Diego, so I'm going to do that, and then want to jump into some Muay Thai, and hopefully Rain announces me in the cage at UNF.
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, it's going to be at UNF?
If I come back to MMA, it's definitely going to be UNF. For sure. Guaranteed.
Nice. Can you imagine? Full circle, Hakuna Matata, Rain introduces Matt Padilla. That is crazy. That's very cool, Matt. I'm happy for you, man. Bam Bam, what is your year looking like, my friend?
So, as some may know, others may not, but I've been recovering from a lot of surgeries, multiple surgeries. And I'm no longer with the UFC, so I'm hoping to talk to some people, get back into training, and have something booked by summer. You see me back fighting somewhere in summer, July, hopefully.
Very cool, my friend. I can't wait, man. I'm very excited for you. It's going to be Brian Bam Bam Barberena versus Matt Queso Padilla at UNF.
I'm going to announce it.
Winner gets to be on the Fight Insight podcast. Very excited. Ringside Rain, what do you got going on in the year?
Oh, I have UNF 22 at the Warner Center Marriott in Woodland Hills, California. This is going to be the first time that we will have a show in Woodland Hills, which is like 70 miles away from where I live, probably 100 miles away from where Matt lives. But we're going to be there. I'm claiming that you're going to be there, Matt.
I have
Are
a
you
guy.
gonna be there, Matt? No, too far for you.
I have a guy on it, so I might be.
Oh, really? Okay. But yeah, so that's going to be on February 8th. I think tickets are already available, so please visit upnextfighting.com. I am still trying to make it to UFC 311, which is out here in Inglewood, California at the Intuit Dome. I still don't have a ticket. I don't know how I'm going to get in, but I will find a way. Because I want to network with people. I don't want to just like buy like a ticket, right? My goal is to like meet people, network with people, introduce myself, tell the world that there's Ringside Rain, announcing fights at Up Next Fighting.
That's right. Yeah. Get it done, Rain. For me, I've got Fight League Atlantic. Obviously, I hope to continue with them. Their next show is February 1st in the Moncton Coliseum, Moncton, New Brunswick. I will be there for that event. That is FLA 18, February 1st. So come check it out there, fightleagueatlantic.com. Aside from that, I don't know what's going on with this podcast. I wanted to end it like 10 episodes ago. And then I keep booking guests. And then like right now, like I said, I've got Kayla for next week. I have an influencer boxer who's coming back on the podcast. Big Sam, he's coming on in the beginning of the year. And then I have a few more UFC guys. I want to talk to Eric Anders. I'm going to have him back on the podcast. Very cool with Eric Anders, I want to say, on his last win against Chris Weidman, how he was talking about he wants 2 more fights before he hangs it up in the UFC because he wants 20 UFC fights. That's freaking cool as hell, man. I think that's a really cool dream and a very cool goal to set for himself. So I really like that. I'm going to have him back on. I'm still hoping that he's going to be on the last bit of Karate Kid, but I don't think he is on Cobra Kai. I was hoping he would come back for one more episode, but I don't think so. But yeah, so that, and who knows, man, what's going to happen. I have been reaching out. I'm trying to reach out to television stations or radio stations to try and bring this show to a different media. So I'm going to try and do that. But we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. Hey. All I know is that, and stay positive. That's the big thing. I want everybody to stay positive and be a good person and think about positive things, man. Too much negative crap.
Lots of it.
Yeah, too much negative. Guys, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much. Ringside Rain, your final official episode. So thank you so much, man. You've been absolutely incredible. And I hope that you've taken away a lot from this. You've learned so much about MMA, I will say.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been kicking ass with the questions and the things. And so follow Ringside Rain. Obviously go to @Ringside Rain and make sure that you check out her stuff on Millions, because she's interviewing people all the time on Millions, which is very cool.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much, Tim. And I'm glad to meet you guys virtually. I've only met Matt Padilla in person because he goes to my UNF events. But one day I'll get to meet you in person, Tim, and you as well, Bam Bam. So, but thank you guys for everything.
Yeah,
all right.
It was awesome to be on your final episode with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Aww.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.